Hi guys, and welcome back to Bottomless Finance. Today I will discuss the overall concept of investing and making an investment. What is an investment? An investment is the purchase of an asset with the intent that essentially that asset will earn you money. That is the concept of investing. So, although the concept of investing is that you purchase an asset with the intent to make money, that doesn't necessarily mean you will make money. That brings us to the purpose of investing. The purpose of investing, or the purpose of making an investment, is to make a favorable return on your investment. Favorable, meaning the purpose of investing is to make money, is to increase your money. At the end of this video, we will do an Excel form and calculate the return on an investment. We'll walk through an example of if, we made an investment of a certain amount, and we'll go through the mathematics on that. With that said, there are two types of investors. There are active investors and there are passive investors. Two types of investors. Let's go through an active investor. An active investor would be someone who owns a small business. Let's say someone owns a bakery shop and they have one employee whom is an assistant and cashier. This person is an active investor because in order for that person's initial investment to grow, that person has to literally make sure they are available and they're there at the location working. So in order for this person to make a return, a favorable return on their investment, they have to physically work for it. So the definition of an active investor is an investor who has to physically work in order to make a favorable return on their investment. I hope you guys are keeping up. Let's move on to a passive investor. A passive investor would be an example of someone who invests in stocks. That would be someone to be considered as a passive investor. This person is a passive investor because in order for this person to make a favorable return on their investment, they don't have to do anything hands-on. They don't have to do anything. Once they make the initial investment, they just don't have to do anything else in order for that investment to grow and make a return over time. In regards to making investments, to really gauge on what is a high-risk investment and what is a low-risk investment, pretty much high-risk investments are investments that obviously you put up a lot of money with the expectation that the financial gain, or the financial return of that investment will be substantially high. A low-risk investment is when you make an investment and expect that investment to grow at a slow pace over time. Whereas a high-risk investment, you invest high and you gain a return in a short amount of time. I'm not going to give examples of high and low risk investments because I really feel like to some degree it's subjective to whomever is the investor and whatever their goal is. However, I will provide a list in another video of investments. I'll do a video on good assets versus bad assets, in which you'll be able to determine what assets would be great investments for you to make for yourself. So right now we are on an Excel spreadsheet. And if you don't have Excel and you have a Mac, you can use the application Numbers and follow these same steps to get the same results. Okay, so let's begin. Each box within this spreadsheet is referred to as a cell. To begin, we're going to type our title in cell A1. On a spreadsheet, each cell is identified by a letter and a number. Each letter represents a column, and each column runs vertically, meaning columns go up, down, down, up, top, bottom, bottom, top. The numbers on the left side of the spreadsheet represents rows, and rows are horizontal, which means rows run from left, right to right, left. Okay, so right now, as I said, we're in cell A1. I'm going to type the title, and we always press enter, and it'll take us to the cell below the cell we're currently in once we press enter. The title of our spreadsheet is Return on Investment, because that is what we will be calculating on this spreadsheet. In cell A3, I typed investment cost. This is the initial amount of money that we had to spend in order to acquire our investment. In the next row, I typed return amount. This is the amount of money that you have totaled in your investment, including the initial investment amount. In the next row is our gain or loss in our investment. And lastly, in row 6, this is where we will have our return on investment. This number will be a percentage number. Right now, I widened column A, and since the title is still spewing over into column B, I will merge and center both column A and B. Now I'm preparing the cells by turning them into currency value so it can give us the dollar amount for our initial investment as well as our total return. Next, to calculate the amount of money we have gained or lost, I will enter a formula into the cell B5. To enter a formula, it must start with the equal sign. Right now, we would like to calculate the amount we invested subtracted from our total return amount. And that's the formula we will be entering into the cell. We'll press equal, and then we'll click on the cell that we want to subtract from, and then press the minus sign and click on the cell we want to be subtracted. And then press enter. Once we do that, we'll have the calculation or answer to the variables entered into our formula. Now that we have the calculation for our gain or loss, we can now move on and enter the formula for our return on investment calculation. Now, the formula for return on investment is the gain or loss on the investment divided by the initial cost of the investment multiplied by 100, and that will give you the percentage of your return on your investment. However, in Excel, there is a percentage button. So instead of doing the calculation where we actually multiply it by 100, we can eliminate that step and just click on the percentage button. We click on the percentage button after we divide our gain by the initial amount it costs us to make that investment. Therefore, we will now enter the equation, the equal sign, and we will click on cell B5, which will give us our gain, and we will divide that by cell B3, which is the cost of our initial investment. Once we complete that step, we can now click on the percentage button in the tab menu, and once we do that, we will have the correct return on investment as per the variables that we entered into our equation, which is the cost of the initial investment as well as our total returned amount of the investment. We can use those variables to give us our gain or loss, which will further give us our return on investment percentage. And in our first example, our return on investment is 100%. We invested $500. Our total return is $1,000. Our gain is $500, meaning we have now acquired the exact amount of money we have invested. So we, at this point, have a 100% rate of return on investment. I completed 2 more examples using different values for our variables. Our variables would be the initial investment cost as well as our return amount. This should give you guys a clear understanding on what a return on investment looks like and how to calculate a return on investment, as well as calculating your gain or loss. Now that we understand the concept of investing and how to calculate our investments, I would like to say thank you for watching and tuning in to Bottomless Finance. I really appreciate the support. And if you would like to support me further in my law school dreams, please donate to my GoFundMe page. Listed below is the link. Thank you so much and have a great day.